Hello.
Hi.
We are back.
I'm waiting for you to notice the thing that's very subtle.
The shirt?
No. We'll see if you notice in the episode.
I'm so confused now.
If you don't, then I'll title the episode what it is and see if anybody in that watches notices. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, let's try. This one is just a whiskey sour, but with the peach syrup I made because I didn't want to waste it. And I also got that.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
I have the sniffles.
I can kind of tell it's there. I did 3/4 of an ounce instead of half an ounce, like you would just do simple syrup.
Okay. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, I tasted there when it sits.
Yeah.
And
Now
then
that's
this is just, I should have brought the bottle up. It's the Birds of my bottle. The,
That's it's almost summer. We can make that soon.
we should. Maybe,
There's your hint, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think I know what drink I'm gonna try to make for that when I talked about today.
What's
But
funny is anybody that listens is gonna be like, they just said nonsense, and then they were like, oh, it's almost summer. We can make that.
no, so this is
Whoa, no problem.
this is toasted barrel dragon's milk, the Dragon Milk company Origin.
Yeah.
It's the Origin stuff, but it's from it's their toasted barrel series, so it's like 125%. It's really good.
We had that on a boys' night.
No, I only just got it Saturday at Starch March because Jake's from.
We had the other one.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, we had the normal one. Jake's out in Grand Rapids, so he was able to actually go to the store and pick up their special release.
Nice.
He got a couple bottles, one for me, one for himself, and one for a buddy. So
Watch, I'm gonna show up at home and it's gonna be like, I'm your other buddy.
Surprise! No, I'm like,
I'm gonna
that
try
stuff's
this
really
one.
good. And this time, and I did it with simple syrup, so I could just really taste the whiskey. And say that's really nice.
Yeah.
My bro Starch March was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad I made it. I most definitely had too much to drink at D&D.
Yeah.
Like right at the end. And it hit when I got here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not driving home.
Nope. And then I made you more drinks.
Yeah, and then you made me more drinks. But it was fun.
Yeah, well, you made something. I don't know what you made.
Peach ring.
Oh, you made the peach ring for yourself?
Made my own version of the peach ring.
Oh, that's what you were trying to do?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it tasted good.
It was okay. I'll be honest, it was okay.
I could tell by your face. You were like, mine's better. And I was like, I know it is. But you were sitting down eating.
Yeah.
It was like a little toddler coming up to their dad, like, look, I made you something. It's just a pile of dog shit.
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad. It was just like, oh, it's a first try kind of thing. So just like mine, it took 4 attempts to finally figure out what it is now.
Yeah.
And
it was also, I was talking about D&D to people that were around me. So I was like, what did I put in here? Because my ADHD brain was like, oh yeah, and then this happened, and then that happened, and then I was like, I think I put that in there. I don't know if I did.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah, I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
Especially kind of what we talked about. I'm gonna start really
Yeah.
honing in some. I need to go back to some basic cocktails and figure out my versions of those. One of my preferred things, and then like really, like fuck with some stuff. I mean, I already kind of do, but
I'm just gonna learn the flare bottle tricks. Like I'll learn all of that, and then every time you make a cocktail, Edie, I need a fucking bourbon, and I'm just
that'd be fun.
and I give it to you, and people are like, wow, do you know how to make any drinks? And I'm like, nope.
That's him. Dude, no, it'd be fun. But I'm like, all right, yeah, fucking, I don't even care. I was thinking about doing that steak egg and the steak egg whiskey sour. It's kind of I wanted to make a sour, especially because I knew I got those foamers. It's pretty good. It's not.
Yeah, I'm curious how the steak would go.
Well, I'm just like, we also are eating steak tomorrow.
Okay.
And I was just like, well, I was talking about, I saved bacon fat from making the bacon.
But bacon fat also has like a bacon flavor.
Yes, it smokes. I don't think it's going to do
steak
much.
Fat has any steak flavor.
It doesn't really have much flavor than kind of what you put on it, which is just kind of salt. So I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, but a good steak, you don't put anything aside from salt and maybe some pepper. So like maybe we would have to.
I do have Jamaican bitters, which the main component, the flavor in it said was like one of the main things was like peppercorn, like actual peppers.
Okay.
Or peppers. So I'm like, that would be something I would add. And then, but I'm like, I fucking glanced in the fridge and I was like, Worcestershire, but I'm like, nah.
Worcestershire.
Like maybe eventually, probably not. And I was just,
that gives me Bloody Mary
much.
vibes.
Yeah,
and I'm not
exactly.
huge on Bloody Marys, but I feel like if you made one, I'd probably like it.
Yeah, I mean that I would take some time with too.
Yeah.
Again, be fucking, I don't know.
Yeah.
But get back, start working on regular boy cocktails and just like, because like I feel like I want to start doing like, other than my old fashions, doing like regular whiskey sours, Ward 8s, other. I don't know why I said Ward 8s. It's not even like a regular classic. I don't know, but Negronis, shit like that, and then like really nail down like what I think my preferred ratios are, at least for us to drink, and then we'll just, if anything, maybe like start. I don't know. It's hard to do all of that because I don't want to keep buying shit.
Yeah, I get that.
So
it's kind of the same with food. Like I want to get back into cooking and whatnot, but I'm like, I don't want to buy all this shit. And then figuring out space for it in the fridge.
Well, what was wild was I was listening to one of the podcasts, and essentially they were saying that some scientists are saying that because of the fact that we're at war with the Ukraine and Russia and that stuff.
Well, we're not at war with Ukraine, but yeah, I know what you mean.
That we're not at war with Ukraine and Russia.
We would be at war with Russia, not Ukraine.
We'd
be in war. Yeah. I know. I get what you're getting, but I want to clarify that we know we're not attacking Ukraine.
Oh yeah, not the Ukraine.
And we're also not helping them attack Russia.
Not at all. But they were saying because Russia has apparently like 50% of the world's fertilizer, that we're basically going to come across a massive food shortage in produce.
I see it.
So I'm like, cool. I guess we should stock up on canned foods. So get canned foods. What's your favorite canned food?
Ass.
Ass and titties. ass and titties.
Dude. I grew up poor, so like you asked me that question. There's like a bunch of different canned foods.
You want to know what first one came to my mind?
Have it.
Oh, go.
Baked beans.
Okay.
With some chopped up hot dogs, some rice.
Mini raviolis.
Oh.
Mini Chef Boyardee
raviolis. That was fancy for me.
Or just Chef Boyardee raviolis. Yeah. Any version of the regular, like just raviolis in a can.
Yeah, those were fancy for me.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
We would get them sometimes. Most
of the time we got SpaghettiOs.
We went to the kid who didn't have siblings. We would go to his house, and we would eat all his ravioli. And his parents didn't care because they had like fucking hundreds of those. Yeah,
no, most of the time we just got SpaghettiOs. Once in a while I would be like, hey, can we get raviolis? And she'd let us get raviolis. And then eventually we started being able to get a little more, but they also came out with the mini raviolis, which
they're better.
Dude, those mini raviolis are amazing. And then what I would start doing is like just literally taking a piece of American cheese, ripping it up into little bits, and then throwing it in there when I heated it up so there was cheese in it.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I would say my favorite just canned, no additions.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Would be the SpaghettiOs with the meatballs.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That, I mean, those and sometimes that are hot dogs, just depending on the mood I'm in.
My least favorite, Vienna sausages.
I can see that because
They look like dog wieners.
I feel like,
I'm still not convinced they aren't dog wieners.
see, I've had them once or twice.
Dog wieners?
Yes. No, I tried, a coworker of mine, like, constantly got the barbecue flavored ones.
A Vienna sausage? Dude, I didn't know they had. Well, I don't like them, but I mean,
Yeah, so you don't pay attention. I didn't either.
Yeah.
But he would just eat that. I mean, he unfortunately eventually he got Bell's palsy.
Okay, I think you told me about this guy.
Yeah, he got Bell's palsy because he was constantly eating way too much fucking sodium, and co-workers were like, "Hey, you need to stop eating so much sodium, bro. Like, we like fried food too, but goddamn." And then he showed up to work with Bell's palsy one day, and he was like, "I need to stop eating salt." And we were like, "We told you that." Great guy, but you know,
I get it.
it happens.
I get it. It's hard.
It doesn't. You don't know until it happens.
I'm gonna go out from something bad that's food related, guaranteed.
Oops! I think I accidentally bumped a button.
What did you hit?
Fade to black.
Oh, I'm gonna go out eating something bad.
It's really funny that I can also like make transitions now.
Oh yeah.
Cut
Have we
to
fucked
this.
around with those at all?
A little bit,
We should fuck around with them more.
but yeah. Once I fuck some more with the thing, but we no, I was thinking about it too. So I remember one time like really wanting subs, but like we didn't obviously have sub bread just lying around, and I
Did you
didn't
get
want
canned bread, because that's the thing.
No, I took hot dog buns,
It's a fucking game changer, ain't it?
dude. Yeah, like I just took hot dog buns, like a piece of lettuce, ham, fucking mayo and mustard, and just threw that on there and just smashed those. Or what I used to do is make my own mixed berry jelly because they don't sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, but
Yeah, barely.
so I would take grape jelly, or grape strawberry jelly, and then usually like I had like blueberry. My mom would get us the Smucker's like blueberry or syrup that's supposed to be for your pancakes.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's fucking expensive as shit, fancy stuff. So it was one of those like once in a while we used it. I had the same bottle for like 3 or 4 years, but I would add like a little bit of that and just make my own Tupperware version of mixed berry jelly.
Nice.
Oh,
Dude, I used to do, I guess it's called like fairy toast or some shit. But I would make toast, I would butter it, and we were a house that baked.
Yeah.
So we always had like random ingredients, which meant we always had brown sugar and cinnamon.
Ooh, yeah.
So that was like my fucking cake. I would butter it, brown sugar, cinnamon. Oh, so good, dude.
I tried that once. It was not something I did a lot because I ended up. A lot of the time I craved savory, and if I craved sweet, I usually just grabbed like straight up chocolate or like
we didn't
Pop-Tarts
have
sometimes.
much, and we weren't allowed to eat the chocolate chips. We'd get in trouble.
Yeah, we did too, and I would get like
Which
Reese's or M&Ms or something. We used to have candy, but like
we only had it around the holidays.
yeah,
But it was funny. My mom, I actually just thought of this. My mom was like, "Yeah, as soon as you guys moved out, like, I don't know, maybe it's something like when we moved back to Kansas, like something with the weather, but the brown sugar just clumps up so quickly." It was because I was in there almost every day, just taking some brown sugar out, declumping it for her.
That's so funny.
Oh.
No, one of the other weirdest fucking things I ever remember making. There was a time where like I just got obsessed with the grilled cheese, and also like I started getting into really experimenting with food for the first time, and I liked crunch. So naturally, what I did was I took a grilled cheese and I put a piece of lettuce on it.
Oh. I thought you were going to go with what I did.
And chips?
Kinda. I took a grilled cheese and I deep fried it using Cheetos. It was
That's-
fucking amazing.
Yeah. No, so to put in perspective, I'm probably in 5th grade, maybe 6th grade.
I was gonna say this was 2006.
Yeah, no, this was
So
5th
I
grade.
was a freshman in high school, but like I remember my dad came home while I was doing it, and he looked over and was like,
Are you on drugs?
"He's like, are you frying a sandwich?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she does. Like he came over, looked at it, and was like, "That smells amazing." I was like, "You want one?" He's like, "I don't think I can eat it." But
Yeah,
dude,
I
it was
do.
fucking bomb.
See that? Yeah, that's really awesome. I was just like, I'm making grilled cheeses all the time. It was like the one thing that like everyone would let me make them because I was actually good at it, even from like
Young age, yeah.
yeah, like my cousin Kristen would babysit and I would make her grilled cheeses. So, but I was like, I just wanted crunch, and I was like, looked at the lettuce, and I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm in 5th grade. No one's technically told me that really shouldn't go together. So I was like, fuck
Yeah.
it,
And even then, like when people tell you things shouldn't go together,
try it.
try it.
Look, it wasn't bad, to be honest. It's one of those things where like lettuce is on. It doesn't have a fucking flavor. It's all water. It's just crunchy.
Well,
And
to me, lettuce has a flavor.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't. So like, it when you put it in a grilled cheese, and I'd add a little mayo, of course. But like, I'm white, so I gotta add mayo.
Well, it's better on a grilled cheese.
Well, I'm on the inside too.
Oh, I did both sides
Yeah,
every time.
yeah. Oh, I do the outside for sure. It fries so much better now. I didn't know that trick then, obviously. I was just like... Also back then, because I was lazy and I didn't feel like buttering the goddamn sandwich, all I would do was I just throw like a knob of butter in the pan.
Dude, I still do that. And then you just put the bread in it, soaks it up as it fries. Oh,
Yep, just like move it around. You're like, all right, it's spread enough.
I can't.
Same thing with flip it around. Or I would butter one side and then do the other side like that because I didn't want to put butter on my hands.
I don't remember who it was last year. But they came over and I was like, I had just hit the pen you gave me. So I was a little high and a little hungry. And I forgot they were coming over. So I started making grilled cheeses. And then I looked down and there was 2 grilled cheeses and I was confused. And then my door opened and I was like, "You want a grilled cheese?" Like, they were laughing their ass off. Who the fuck was it? I don't remember. But they walked in, they had some of the grilled cheese, and they're like, "What did you do this?" I was like, "I got like 12 kinds of cheese." I just sat down, put on YouTube, fucking smashed it, man.
When me and Emilio, I've told the story before, but when we went to Chicago on a fuck it trip to just get pizza, I also said in that same trip, we also decided to go to the Miller Brewery Factory. And on the way there, we saw the Mars Cheese Castle, and we both stopped there, and we got like at least $30 to $60 worth of cheeses each. And then when we got home, we made a grilled cheese of just like all the ones that weren't like fruit flavored and shit.
Yeah.
Like we were just like, all right, what's all the like really good cheeses? And it was, dude, it's so good. Like that is something that's worth when you go to a restaurant and if it's a grilled cheese and it has like 6 different kinds of cheeses in it.
This, yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
But if it has 6 different cheeses, that is worth buying because it's like, okay, they really did. There's a lot of fucking cheese. That shit goes bad.
Yeah.
You know, but
Dude, can we gotta hit her up and see if we can do a grilled cheese pop-up.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think we'd have a problem doing random pop-ups.
I don't think we would either. Because I already asked her about it, and she said, yes, whatever you want. But we did make the joke about our goal in life is making a grilled cheese food truck.
I mean, okay, so here's the thing is there is one that already exists.
I know, but
so
ours would be cooler.
Yeah, we'll do fancy ones. And also cheap ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. But I think... Fuck, I might need to make grilled cheese. Also, technically, as of filming this tomorrow, we're filming late. It's a Thursday. Tomorrow is St. Patty's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, like...
I got the sniffles.
Reuben's.
Oh, yeah. I'm a sometimes Reuben.
I like Reuben's once in a while, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... the problem is like, one time I started going to... There was a place, I can't remember what it was, in Detroit. I don't think it was Front Page. No, that's the thing.
I heard my dad in my head, and it's a joke that as a white man I'm not allowed to make. It was in my father's voice. It wasn't my voice.
Well,
my dad's black. To reiterate, it's been a few episodes since we've mentioned that. For people that don't know, just in case you stumble across this episode.
Yeah, basically, yeah. His dad's black. Hi, Dad. I don't even want to say the name.
It's weird when you call him that.
Yeah, it felt. As soon as I started to, I was like, oh. But it no, when I was working at Warren Truck at like 9 and Mound or Van Dyke, basically. No, 9 and Mound and Ryan.
Yeah,
whatever.
I was at like 10 in Van Dyke area.
Yeah, so it's right around there. They used to get these corned beef sandwiches from this whatever place. I never.
You sure it wasn't Front Page Deli?
It might have been,
because their Reuben is the only Reuben that I actually like.
To be honest, it might be them because it was. I just remember all it was fucking thick. And when I say it was this big, I mean it was this big.
Sounds like Front Page.
And dude, and that's every time I think of a Reuben, that's what I think of is just tons of meat, like a actual good amount of cheese.
Dude, I miss when they were. They used to be Submart, the one by
the school
Macomb Community. It used to be Submart, and then it became Front Page Deli.
Okay,
basically the same sandwiches, just upgraded.
Yeah,
but I went there with Xander because I think he knew the owner or some shit. So we went in there, and he's like, "You have to get the chicken sandwich." I went in there, and most places chicken sandwich is pretty nice. It's like a solid piece of breast. Right?
Yeah.
The breast was that thick. Like steroid chicken. But I was thinking, okay, steroid chicken, this is going to be awful. No. That shit was juicy, didn't taste weird. Fucking broiled, whatever the fuck it is.
See,
so good.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, also like, steroid chicken. Because I'm like, I mean, there's no chicken that big, but I'm also like, that does sound amazing. Like, so I'm just hungry.
Same. I have not eaten. I had a little bit. I had a snacky.
I was gonna say, you need to eat, bro.
Yeah, I forgot my mac and cheese at home, and then the vending machine was broken, and then I finally got food at 1 o'clock when the vending machine wasn't broken, and then I walked into your house and was like, "Snack, please."
I ate what I have. Melissa made her protein yogurts and shit. It should just yogurt.
Just come in them a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. But it's
Melissa made them too.
Hey, no, protein powder and fucking. It was a chocolate peanut butter with just Greek yogurt. That's it. And I ate that with. We meal prepped some burritos. We've been meal prepping sometimes, and we made. We have Mediterranean salad. I keep forgetting to portion that out the night before, so I just don't bring it. I'm probably gonna have that for dinner tonight. Yeah. But we had that, and then she found this recipe for turkey burritos, ground turkey burritos, and it's just, you take ground turkey or chicken. No, ground chicken, I think. Whatever. Ground bird.
Not my bird.
Not your cat.
I said bird and immediately was like, no.
No. Ground turkey. Throw it in a pan and you just season it with like a packet of taco seasoning and then onions. You can't obviously have those, so just onion powder or whatever. But like, and then the sauce is just enchilada sauce, and you blend that with cottage cheese.
So you blend the meats and everything?
No, sorry. So the sauce. Okay. So the sauce is just, you blend enchilada sauce and cottage cheese. Okay. And that's it. And then you just throw that.
Pretty bomb.
Yeah. You just throw that in with the chicken and peppers, whatever the fuck you feel like adding. But this is supposed to be, it was this is the recipe that's calorie counted and stuff. So we just make it that way. Actually, we use a lot less of the sauce because they make like massive burritos. We happen to just get taco shells. So I basically just make like, usually it gets you about 8 to 9 mini burritos if you try and stuff them pretty nice. With a pound of turkey. And I'm like,
bad.
Yeah. So we just take them. I basically eat that. I ate that and the protein, and then by the time lunch came around, I just wasn't hungry enough to like.
That
eat.
protein, man. Like I'm thinking of not doing keto, but doing a high protein diet for a while.
I mean, honestly, do that. Just fucking make like 8 of them all at once.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is just throw the powder and the Greek yogurt together and just fucking.
my thing is
stir.
like when I lost all that weight, 2021.
Yeah.
What I was eating when I would go to work was basically like taco salads.
Yeah.
Like I'd get the pre-mixed container and throw tacos and shit in there, and like shit slapped.
I mean, dude, that's not a bad idea. Just make like 5 salads on a Sunday. Because that, I mean, even if you make it as easy as you just buy the pre-mix shit,
Yeah.
throw it in a bowl, cook up turkey with some taco seasoning, throw it in.
I don't like ground turkey though, or
Ground
ground
chicken. Or
I'd
just
have
ground
to do
beef.
ground beef.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, she just does the
I
chicken
know.
and turkey. Yeah.
She's got the red meat thing. Whereas I'm just like, sometimes chicken and turkey taste too much like chicken and turkey to me.
So it's not she figured out, like, I don't know if it's not a lot of beef, but sometimes like it fucks with her, but she can't eat steak and stuff now. I think it might have just been one horrific experience.
Could have been.
And also I mean, for sure, like pork belly, pork fucks with her hard, but like she's gotten better with steaks, so we can do like ground beef and stuff. We just don't do it as much because obviously like turkey and chicken's a little healthier.
I know I talked about this on the podcast, but
Yeah.
Chrissy made these fucking like lettuce boats with like pork belly and pickled peppers and carrots. Bro.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
Like, I have not had one of those moments where I'm like sitting down eating food and like audibly going like, oh, like.
See, to me, you said that, and it makes me think of LARB, which is like
Live action roll baby.
Yeah.
I don't know what larb is.
No, it's a Thai food. We only know it. Yeah. As soon as I say that, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's the lettuce boat with like essentially a ground meat, and then it's got like some chilies and stuff in it.
Dude,
I
it
think,
was
in it.
so fucking good though, man.
And you said that, and it makes me immediately think of that because we did like I think honestly, there was a while where we got, a lot of 90% of the time we throw something on that's food related in the background.
Yeah.
For a while it was, there was we did Anthony Bourdain, and then and then it was Great British Bake Off. That's still a go-to sometimes.
Well,
but
old Greg's in it. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's old Greg. That's the Mighty Boosh.
It is
Same
old
guy.
Greg. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's he's the host, and then there's other ones that swap in and out, but he's the guy. When he leaves, I don't know if I'll watch anymore.
I don't think I will either.
I truly love him, but also no. So we were listening to, or we'll listen to, put on like right now. It's Somebody Feed Phil.
Okay.
It's from the creator, the guy that made Everybody Loves Raymond. So it was like him and obviously Ray Romano, but they wrote that show, and he's the main creator and writer. So he has a food show, and he's on season 7 now. So it's long enough seasons that we can just throw him on
you can binge it.
and just binge the fuck out of it. I mean, we've already finished it now like twice.
I'm gonna pull a Brandon.
Look away. But we ended up, at this point we finished it 3 times. We'll probably get to a third or fourth and be like, all right, we gotta pick another show.
Yeah.
But it's no, it's really fun. I just feel like saying it. We'll pick like Great British Bake Off when we like lock Penny out of the room.
That's your background music?
Yeah, it's just fucking Noel talking about cakes. It's mostly just because like it's loud. We just need something loud enough, and it's them talking, so it's not like a bunch of theme songs for fucking the whole time. I don't know.
See, I watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh god, is this just Game Grumps?
It's worse. There was one time where I was going to town, and all you hear is PewDiePie, and I'm just like,
Dude,
But I've actually been watching, like, not even just Minecraft Let's Plays. I've been watching, like, I've put 100 players into a server and it's the zombie apocalypse. Let's see how they survive. And, like, people are, like, actually role-playing and shit. I'm like, this is the greatest stuff ever. And
That's
it's for
cool.
7-year-olds, basically. But it's
Oh.
dope.
I mean, that's pretty cool. Regardless,
That's
like,
fucking dope.
it's like, to me, that almost falls in definitely different, but same realm as, like, I made a simulation of 1,000 Spartans versus 1,000.
I watched those
whatever.
too, yeah. Yeah.
Like, you just fucking
Dude, they're so good.
wild.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I mean, they made a whole show on, what was it, FX, where it was like,
It was For Honor, wasn't it? They made a video game out of that TV show.
no, okay, so no, it was different. I mean, we might be talking about something different. I was going to talk about a show where they would be like, what would happen if you put like a samurai versus yeah.
I think it might not have been For Honor. I might be mixing the game up. But yeah, I know what TV show you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was like, either way, it was like samurai versus, a Native American.
yeah. I think it was an Aztec. For the samurai one,
Aztec. It was
Yeah.
Aztec. And then there was, they do the KGB versus Navy SEAL,
Yeah.
the whole, and
Dude,
it's just like,
they go fucking in.
well,
There's
they're
a
like,
clip
each
from
was
that
1,000
show.
battles.
There was a clip from that show where they brought in, I think it was from that show. They brought in like a special force guy.
Yeah.
From our military.
Yeah.
And they just gave him a knife. And they were like, they put him up against like this ballistics dummy that was filled up with blood and like to simulate a body and everything. And they were like, fight him. And the guy's like, he's talking like this, like real calm, cool, and collected. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then he turns to the camera and just dead eyes and just fucking like within like 5 seconds has stabbed this mannequin like fucking 200 times.
Yeah.
And like, there's just,
I mean,
oh my God.
well, and that was the thing that technically the SEALs won. I think it was like by over 100 battles out of 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those, like, I mean, it makes sense. This fucking look.
Those guys are fucking.
They're crazy. When I was in high school, I originally thought about becoming a SEAL.
We had a guy too.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
But I was quiet, so no one knew. I just kept it to myself.
Ours was quiet too, until like we went into the weight room and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "I'm training to be a SEAL."
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes 100% sense. So, originally it was one of those things where I thought about like, I would not have made it, but I would like to think, obviously, like every fucking like male identifying person that thinks they have like they're just fucking amazing. No, you wouldn't. But
What's funny is I said I'd never join the army. I was like, when they mentioned that, I was like, I'm good.
you were destined.
Yeah.
But like, no, but originally it was one of the, when they asked you in high school and I did the project where they say, what are the things you want to be? The first one I put was drummer. No shocker there. I think the second one was Navy SEAL. Or it might have been the vice versa, just because I was like, it's technically probably more realistic I make it as a Navy SEAL than as a drummer in a band.
Honestly, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, I mean, not really, to be honest, but I was like, based on what I think my talents are, Navy SEAL is probably more likely. But I committed to the second one instead. But, no, I remember putting that, and I was like, my uncle apparently, when he joined the military, and it fixed his life up. He was a fuck-up kid. Like, I think I've told the story.
Most of us were.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You basically up until you're like 22, 23, you're just constantly.
Most of the people that joined the military.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
But he ended up joining the military, and then he tried out for Buds, and he made it.
No shit.
He made it into the school, and then he decided he's like, I don't want to do that. He just kind of wanted to know if he could, and he was like, that's enough. I got accepted to Bud's school. That's enough. I'll live on that. And he just kind of, I mean, he doesn't talk about it, but he just mentioned it to me because I happened to be talking about whatever at some point. Or my mom mentioned it. That was it. He didn't even tell me. My mom told me.
Okay.
But I also mentioned it one time to a coworker, and I was like, he was a former military, and he was friends with a guy who was in the program and eventually did become a SEAL. And he was like, no, those guys are truly something special. They really do weed every single motherfucker out that has any weakness. His example was that it was like one time he's walking, it was like nighttime, and he was on, not nighttime, but later in the dawn. Dusk. Later in the dusk, he was like up on the very top of the ship, scrubbing with a brush to clean the ship. And he saw his buddy approaching the ship. He didn't say anything to him, but he approached him like walking around, and then he stopped, like basically dead straight on, like where he was scrubbing at. Looked straight up and was like, hey! And then just kept going.
Yeah.
And then his other story he told me was the ship that he was on, they frequently used as a training vessel for like Green Beret, you know, all the special teams to practice infiltrating a Navy warship for, you know, a hostage situation, the captain, whatever. And he said essentially they would do like 4 tests in a day. So it was just a day of them just like fucking around, sitting around waiting while these people essentially storm the ship. And it would always come down to like the first 3 groups, you know, would go. Green Beret was like second to last, and he was like, they were pretty good, you know, but no matter what, you would hear them. And then he was like, I remember I was sitting there the first time it happened. We're all like waiting because we knew the Navy SEALs were going to go last, and they were just sitting around, and he was like looking at his buddies, and he's like, guys, it's been like 20 minutes. We haven't heard like a single thing.
Comes out of the locker.
Not even. He was just sitting because he was like, basically he was like, I'm in a hallway that they absolutely have to go through. There is not a single way to the main deck in the main cabin without going through the hall we're in. So they were all sitting there like, guys, it's been 30 minutes. When were they supposed to start? And then like as they were talking about it over the radio, it was like, I'm Captain blah 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 of the Navy SEALs blah blah blah. We have commandeered your vehicle or your, you know, whatever. And he was just like, yo, okay, that's the fucking difference.
Yeah.
They literally
Quiet.
Absolute silence, had no fucking clue what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, they're a true different breed. I mean, it's one of those things where there's a reason they make that the fucking, like, training, like,
yeah.
I mean, they require you to drown at least once in your training.
Yeah.
Like, you have to drown. Like, I think that's pretty much a thing. They force you to drown so you know what it's like.
Dude, they do some wild shit. The one guy from our school, when I say he was doing wild shit in the weight room, like, he was in my weight training class. And
Yeah.
we did the hang from the bar
Yeah.
to see who could go the longest.
He did.
And he's sitting there hanging like this. And then, like, he just lets go with one arm, scratches his side.
Didn't move at all.
Didn't move at all. Scratched his side for like this long, and then just went and held on again. And like,
Yeah.
he left, like graduated high school. When I came back from the army, I'm pretty good at finding people, as you know.
Yeah.
He's nowhere.
He definitely made it. He made it, or
Like-
he almost made it and then was like, okay, fuck it, I'm not going to face that.
Or they took him somewhere else.
Look, I mean, that's the thing is like,
Dude
I mean,
was fucking wild. He was funny. Very quiet.
it kind of sounds like me in high school because I just didn't have many friends. I had like 5, maybe 4, like real close friends. No, that's a lie. I had close friends, yes, 4 or 5. But I had I had a smallish friend group, but like I was just kind of like originally, essentially, I was gonna graduate and then I was gonna start working 2 jobs and then like get in shape, and then I just kind of like obviously life happens and you just don't do that.
I thought about going for special forces for combat medic school, but then I came back and was like, I just went out.
No, well, that was the thing too, is we like, I mean, we became friends while you were in the Army, so it's one of those just like, it's just not what it's, unless you have to.
Unless you became a SEAL and then I became a fucking special forces medic, and then we met on the battlefield, and I was like,
wild.
Whoa. Like treating your wounds.
Dude, that would have been some fucking weird synchronicity.
Universe, my dude.
We were like hyper Republicans in that one.
Well, the military actually eventually made me more of a socialist.
Well, that's why you're not in it. I mean, look, I mean,
you're not wrong.
That's, I mean, to be honest, if I'm honest, like that's probably the reason I would no longer. I would like.
I think if I had stayed active, I probably would have been very conservative. Because it institutionalizes you, man.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, I felt my phone go off like 5 times.
That's fair.
I just want to look at it real
No,
fast.
I just remember, like, even in my mind, like, it's one of those, like, I'm sure there's ways I could justify it somehow, but probably not. Eventually. But, like, I remember that being such a thing, and I was just like, I knew I was going to have to get in ridiculous shape. And I knew I'd also have to get in ridiculous shape, despite the fact that I had asthma when I was 13. But it was
why?
it was activity induced, which I think just meant I was fat.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, is like I don't know if I actually had it or if they were just like you're kind, like I don't know. I was not a super overweight kid when I was younger.
Yeah.
I eventually gained weight like probably middle school into high school.
I had childhood asthma. You've also seen the scar on my back. So like,
well, yeah, you had a thing, right?
Yeah, I had a thing.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
We did we did the discussion.
Yeah.
You did well. You can reiterate, I guess.
Well,
it's been a while.
I asphyxiated on poop
when he was a baby in the womb.
Yeah, and then it was when I was being born.
Yes, so you didn't have a choice.
So it went into my lungs and it burned, like acid burned the lower portion of my lung.
So yeah, like,
which sucks because like my lungs are actually like fucking huge. So like if I didn't have that, bro,
you could breathe so much fucking air.
I'd be able to breathe so fucking well, dude. And the other battery acid that went up my nose, so I can't breathe out of my nose. Like, dude, if it wasn't for acid, I'd be the next Bruce Jenner.
It's so funny, dude. Every time I hear about like someone clogging a nose, I always, and I've told it before, I always not recently. I always relate back to a kid in my fucking like first grade that they thought it was fun to snort pixie sticks.
Dude, I did.
I didn't, because I was not a popular kid, so that didn't end up crossing my...
I wasn't popular. I was popular adjacent.
Okay, so like I've never once been popular in any version of my school. Like my elementary school was
in school. I was like, bro.
In my school, when the fuck was I ever popular anyways?
Bro, you and I can post the exact same picture on Pi Day. Me in a pizza onesie, you in a pizza onesie, and you immediately get like 40-something likes, and I'm at like 2.
I'm not even... Look, to be fair, mine mostly got attention because I also posted recently 2 pictures of my fucking bald head and then
So did I! My hair was like right here.
I mean, it's not... You didn't look as bad as I... Yeah, you didn't. I was like, you didn't look as purposely bad. Most of the time, that's the opposite. But I remember, the fuck were we talking about? God damn
Not being popular.
Yes.
And pixie sticks.
No, there was a. in my elementary school, I was running like up until 2nd grade when I switched school. I don't know. Either way, I was always the kid just running around playing like some version of a video game or movie with like 5 other kids. And that was it. So like I remember all of a sudden we were like his name was David. I don't remember his last name, but his name was David. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I think it was David. We heard that he had basically he snorted pixie sticks, but it got he must have not.
Oh, he didn't full snort.
No, well he did that, but also I think the main problem was he didn't blow his nose beforehand, so it caught boogers, and it clogged his nose, and he could not break it free, and it like. I think from what I understand is he tried for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it was starting to burn. Mm-hmm. So he had to be like, all right, I got to tell my parents. And like, he had to go to the hospital and they had to like, I don't know, obviously not surgically, but they had to fucking, yeah, they had to fucking dig in there. And it became a thing where like, they didn't put out like, a school-wide notice, but they told our class, hey, don't snort pixie sticks. Or at least our grade. They told us, don't snort pixie sticks. It's not meant to go there, but also it can burn if it gets stuck, and you have to go to the hospital and cost your parents money.
Yeah.
And we were just like, what? And they shouldn't have done that, because I think that's how I found out. I was like, what the fuck? And they were like, yeah, fucking David over in this. I don't remember our teachers. Anyway, in another class, he did that. When you were in elementary school, my elementary schools tried to prep us for having to switch classes for middle school. I was gonna say, did yours do the same thing?
We started switching classes. I went to this thing called ACTS, which was like a gifted accelerated kid program.
Oh, I was not there.
So I was already switching classes like it was like middle school, high school, in like it was 3rd or 4th grade. And then they started kind of doing that in 5th grade, but instead of us switching classes, the teachers would switch to us unless we went to like gym or computer or music.
So they basically took that same concept other than gym and music.
Yeah.
In 5th grade, what we did was we had, like, my teacher was I think, English teacher. We had one guy that was specialized in science. He was a science teacher, and then one guy that was a math teacher. So in 5th grade, like, I think after like the first quarter of it, basically refreshing shit, we like would switch classes in the middle, and go to the science guy, go to the math guy, and then come back. And that was our thing. So it kind of like just did 2 classes, get you used to it, and then you're back in your class for the last chunk of the day. And I think he was in the math teacher's class, which, to be honest, his name was Mr. Viviano. I only remember that because there's Viviano's sub place, and I always remember, I was like, I wonder if he's related. And he was a chunkier guy, and I was like, he must be. They made subs, and that's all it took for me to be an asshole and be like, yeah, they're related. He's fat. And he was, dude. He was great though. Actually, all 3 of those teachers were pretty good.
A lot of ours were.
I don't know. I only had a couple teachers I disliked.
I've only had one teacher that I fully despised, and then one teacher I threw a bookshelf at her, but I didn't hate her. I just strongly disliked her.
Fair.
She would accuse me of cheating all the time, and it was the one class that I actually enjoyed.
French. Yeah, French.
But Mr. Sweeney, fuck you.
I remember the only one teacher I kind of had a problem with was Mrs. Nance, and she was cool, but
Mrs. Bauer was weird.
Well, okay, and this is one of those weird things. Is like she was a bit racist,
I had a lot of those too.
and it was a black woman, and it was. I didn't necessarily think that was a reason at first, and then like, as like the year went on, she did the like, not wrongly, but she would basically point out like the man who invented the light bulb was a black man, but Thomas Edison owned the shop that funded all of the research that caused it, but the original guy that did it, you know, obviously she didn't go to that much detail. She just told us a black man did it. And we were
And then
like,
you
huh?
take the standardized test and be like, well, the answer's Edison. Yeah.
Well, she was an English teacher. So that's where it was like also like, but like, look, it was one of those things where like she was giving the right message in the wrong context and way, but also like I was an annoying kid. I was a drummer and I tapped all the time, so like we had a bit of that like motherfuckers quit tapping all the time, to the point that like my last day of fucking like 8th grade that I had her. Like the last like minute of class, I just took my finger in the desk and went fucking, and then like left. Yeah. But to be honest, it's one of those things where like I also really liked her as a teacher. I just knew it was one. I liked her as a teacher. She didn't like me as a student.
Yeah,
that was the best example, and I was just like, fine.
Shout out, Mr. Doherty.
Okay, I have said this before. Mr. Schluckbeer. My 4th grade teacher.
That's a fucking Harry Potter name, dude.
Yeah. Well, he is the one that like truly, like really like, other than seeing Star Wars with my dad before like I think 2nd grade when it came out, he read us The Hobbit, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then the other one is that I directly remember is Mrs. Saffron, and that's because she was my 3rd grade teacher for like the first quarter, the first half, and she was really hot. No, really hot. Maybe the last quarter of it, but she was really hot. I said it before. She looked like the actress that was in the movie Deep Blue. But
fuck, I don't remember the name of the hot science teacher we
also she presented one of the best questions that ever like kind of helped me identify who I am as a person. In 3rd grade, she asked us, just out of curiosity, you can't vote, but who would you vote for? And that was Bush Gore.
I remember that.
I voted Gore. I told her Gore, and she asked why, and I was like, because it seems like he gives a shit about people, like us as an actual humanity and the person more than Bush does. And then Bush did 9/11.
Yeah, I remember Bush Gore, and I had a similar answer, but not. I was like, I like Gore. He seems like he cares. But Bush said he would pay the army more money.
And my dad's in the army.
And I want more money so I can get Chef Boyardee's mini raviolis.
And unfortunately, that's like, as you grow up as an adult, that's what you realize voting becomes. You're like, God damn it. Like, all of it's fucked. You're just kind of like, well, how much am I... for at least us, it's like, how much do you vote on your morals versus how much you're just like, God damn it,
how much do I vote on my morals, or how much do I vote on who's going to get me more work?
Yeah. Either way, I think we're all going to end in an apocalypse.
Yeah, we're going to cause it.
Well,
me and you specifically.
Yes, we definitely will. But the other thing that we're also going to bring upon us is I've been listening to Andrew Schultz had on his name is I think Ben Schwartz or something. Not Schwartz, something different. Something Ben. Ben Schwartz is an actor from
is the voice of Sonic.
He's also in fucking all the other shows and stuff. No, I forgot what his name was, but he's a specialist in like not Egypt, but like studying ancient history and shit like that. And they were talking about essentially every June to October, not June and October-ish timelines, we end up in our galaxy crossing an asteroid shower that actually goes like we float through this shower, and it does like hit us like frequently. And they believe that back like probably like 12,000 years ago is when it truly destroyed the planet and caused the ice age to end and melted all the ice and fucked the planet up till basically 40 something 100 BC, or longer, but or a little shorter, but we became eventually
40 something
Neanderthals. Yeah, we basically became Neanderthals.
Yeah.
But like they were saying that's the way the earth like switched over, and that's where like all of the biblical things, any Bible or Quran, any religious text you read, like has generally some of those same like earthly impacting
flood and shit, yeah,
things that happen, and that's because that's just what happened. They had to include them in their history. And they were like, yeah, it was caused because we every June to October we float through this fucking asteroid belt essentially that
every
could drill
June
the
to
planet.
October within a certain time frame.
No, every June. It's basically like a 2 or 3 week period somewhere around like June to July or like April to June, depending on the time frame there, and then October to like November, September, based on the timeline. It's always like 2 times because we pass, you rotate the sun once, so like it's a ring of asteroids essentially that we pass through. And they were like, yeah, all of the timelines that we basically found, like, they're all starting to point to that. And at this point, we're just waiting for the rest of the scientists that have stake in admitting that their data is wrong to admit it so we can actually study things.
Okay.
Mainly Egypt. But, like, they were kind of talking about that. And I was like, that and then also, like, I mean, the fact that Yellowstone is... like technically,
yeah, they actually think Yellowstone's kind of stable unless we get hit.
And that's kind of the thing too.
Going to conspiracy theories, one of the biggest conspiracy theories, and one that is actually true, is the governments will slowly feed information to prep you.
Yeah.
And we've been being fed apocalyptic scenarios since the 80s. And then there was just Don't Look Up about the asteroid hitting. There's been a lot of news about like the asteroid hitting. There's all these private corporations getting into space.
Actually, even better, different, same information, but more confirming news. There's businesses getting into underground bunkers. Mm-hmm. Which is basically, from what these scientists have said, the only civilizations that survived were people that lived in caves.
Yep.
Because they basically said that, like, they found water erosion in certain spots of the Sphinx that they were like, there's no way this happened without, like, just ungodly amounts of water in storms. And they believe that Earth basically got rained on with lightning and just drilled for like almost like 100 years. Like it was just a storm planet.
I can believe it.
And it wiped out like all of the, all of what previously, who they believe built the pyramids. It wiped out a whole civilization, and all of their cities and all that stuff got buried in sand. And they're finding proof of that in the Amazon as they started deforesting, and then they started using LiDAR.
Yeah.
You can look into that. I don't feel like getting into it. But like
LiDAR is laser light detection scopes and radar.
So they were using So they were using that to they basically started finding they found a city that was the size of London in the 1800s.
Oh shit.
In the Amazon. Like multiple cities the size of London in the Amazon. So they're like, there was definitely like full civilizations, and you can see the different levels of building on top of each other from the Aztecs and shit over in Mexico and not Brazil, but wherever like Mayans and Aztecs and stuff were, Brazil. Like in South America. Yeah. Well, no, because I know there's like I know there was shit that was in like Chile and Peru and stuff, but they're all different, whatever. But no, they were just like, there's a lot of shit And so I'm like, that's really cool. So there's part of me that's like, and then there's also like the climate change stuff where they're like, obviously we're definitely fucking some shit up.
Yeah.
But they were also like, I mean, if you hyper focus on a couple thousand years, it's fine. But if you look at across like 10,000 years, we're like not. It really doesn't do much.
Yeah, it's
but
all relative.
Yes, but we definitely need to still not do that because that's not fucking cool. So
Yeah.
I was like, that's an interesting perspective. But
I also I fall heavy into. I'm spiritual-ish, but I fall under like. It's like more easier to explain with the simulation theory. Like,
yeah,
there is someone controlling it all. It might not be a computer game or whatever, but there's people like way higher intellect than we are.
yeah,
And I think there's a fucking hard reset. Like, oh shit, they're fucking up. Asteroid.
I mean,
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, it's like, I mean, there's those theories of like, when not even simulation theory, but also like that we're even just like essentially like an experiment or like a farm.
yeah.
They're just like, all right,
Yeah.
we'll just see what they do, stop them, gain whatever things
them
they
back
learn,
up, yeah.
build them back up, come back in 1,000 years. Like, all right, where are they at? And I mean, it makes sense that they only started visiting once we got nuclear technology. Like, all right,
Yeah.
once we start noticing their fucking presence, we're like, all right, let's go see what's going on. So it'll be fun.
I mean, it'd be the same thing for us. Like, if we had an ant farm for the human lifespan,
Yeah.
and you get an ant farm when you're 8, and then you're like 40 years old, you still have the same ant farm, and then there's a fucking like firecracker that pops off, and you're like, you're gonna check it out. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, even what's funny is you said that, and I was like, well, like, I almost imagine, like, I think it'd be fun, not really, to try and have an ant farm for that long, but then there's also, like, they are going to find a way to escape, and then you're just going to have a house full of ants. After that
100%.
long of time, either they're definitely going to die because they didn't expand enough, or...
100%.
Yeah.
You would have to have like probably this size room.
full of ants.
Yeah.
And you'd have to lock the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and then
mean,
you
you'd
might
have
not
to-
see the firecracker.
No,
maybe
you
the
would-
ants we have now have firecracker technology, and we don't know.
Dude, it'd be so... Yeah, all of a sudden you're just like, did I hear a pop? And it's like in this corner of the room, and the ants in that corner of the room were like, fuck you, we're going to attack. And there's like, I'm going to go there.
They got
But-
intercontinental ballistic missiles, but the size of this room.
They just dig through dirt, and you're like, all right.
Jesus.
Fucking terrible. Well, now that we've contemplated that, thank you guys for watching.
Existential crisis. Also, Brandon, we tried to dye my hair green. That's what I was hoping you would notice. It's very not noticeable unless there's a certain light.
Yeah, this light doesn't do
It
any
doesn't
of
do
that.
shit. I
Now that
figured-
now that you say that, I can see like
a little bit right here. Yeah,
not even like it's just
it's the
This
baby
side.
hairs.
yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
That's all I see is like a ring, and it just looks like, oh, that was just you shaved your head and that started to grow there now. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Anyways, goodbye. Have that existential crisis. Go dye your hair. Peace.
Bye, guys.